To all my Christians, I am starting a series. And it's called, Are You Following Jesus or Are You Following the Sadducees and the Pharisees? But are you following the Pharisees? Let's get into it. I don't know if I'm going to come every night. I don't know if I'm going to come every hour. But I pulled some scriptures and made some notes. Okay, let's get into it. So I'm coming to you with one of my favorite chapters. It's called Eating. I'm going to call this one Eating with Tax Collectors and Sinners. Coming from Matthew, the 9th chapter in the 10th verse. 10th through 13th verse. So hear me out. I do have a cold, but hear me out. Are you following Jesus or are you following the Pharisees or the Sadducees? So this chapter says, this Matthew, the 9th chapter in the 10th through 13th verse. And as Jesus reclined at the table in the house, behold, the many tax collectors and sinners came were reclining with Jesus and his disciples. And when the Pharisees saw this, they said to his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" But when he heard it, he said, "Those who are well have no need of a physician, but those who are sick, go and learn what this means. I desire mercy and not sacrifice, for I came not to call the righteous, but the sinners." Period. And this is the ESV version, so it may sound a tad bit different. But let me tell y'all the learning lesson from this chapter right here. So the learning lesson from this right here is true spiritual leadership moved towards brokenness, not away from it. So if you are a spiritual leader and you walking like Jesus, you're following Jesus, you're not moving away from the broken people. The broken people do not discuss you. You're not moving away. You're moving towards them to help them, to help restore them, to cast out the demons, because that's how you're going to cast out demons. Period. If you're doing it like the Pharisee, you're creating a cult. You want to hear that again? If you're doing it like the Pharisees, if you think it's just perfect people, you're creating a cult. Okay, so let's talk about the Pharisee behavior. They practice exclusion under the gesture of holiness. Their brand of righteousness depended on distancing themselves from those who deem low value. Now we see this with many Christians today in America. If you're not like them, guess what? You're low value. You're the devil. You're demonic. You're everything. And that's Pharisee behavior. Because that's what the Pharisee did. What Jesus did was cast out the demons out of people. Unless they push him away. That's another chapter. But Jesus' actions, Jesus repositioned righteousness as redemption, not elitist. He made it clear that the mission was not image management, but soul restoration. He was here to restore our soul. So if you're following him, you will be trying to restore people's souls. That's the number one thing. It's to restore people's souls. Not the fat in your pockets. Not to get whatever you want to get and dip. No. If you read the Old Testament, the father was fed up And he said in the Old Testament, he's going to send somebody to be an example. He sent his son to be an example of what he expects. He expected you to be good just like him. To be blameless just like him. To be respectable just like him. To tell the truth just like him. Do y'all get it? So are you following the Pharisees or are you following Jesus? And I had this on my mind for so long, and I'm like, God is just pushing me to say this. And I found so many lessons and examples, and I'm going to read it. You see all these papers right here? I don't know if it's going to be each night. I don't know if it's going to be each hour. But I'm going to get these messages out to y'all because, you know, in the American church, a lot of y'all is following the Pharisees. And God don't like that. That's not his work. His work is for you to follow Jesus, his son. Period. Follow Jesus. And this is for Christians. If you're not a Christian and you want to argue and you're not a believer, you want to argue, this message is not for you. This is for Christians. Okay? God love you. If you want to be a Christian, come on. It's good over here. We have peace over here. We have happiness over here. We have joy over here. We have the covering from the Father over here. Yeah. We pray over here. We have faith over here. We have hope over here. We believe over here. Okay? But this is the question. Are you following Jesus or are you following the Pharisees? This is the first one. I got many more to go. Bye.